Hi and welcome back to the channel. My name is Nicole with Green Tree Farm.
And I'm Dr. Jocelyn Whitaker, a naturopathic doctor and a good friend of Nicole's. So I'm excited to be joining her today.
Thanks for being here.
Oh, you're welcome.
And today we're talking about seasonal allergies. For those of you just jumping on, this is a natural health series that we're doing with Dr. Jocelyn. So why don't you go ahead and give us just a little introduction to yourself.
So I have 6 degrees in natural health, Doctor of Traditional Naturopathy, Doctor of Biblical Medicine, Certified Nutritional Counselor, Certified Aromatherapist, Holistic Health Practitioner, and Certified Chaplain in Holistic Approaches. Yeah, it's alphabet soup after my name. But really it goes back to the fact that herbs saved my life as a child. And so I became passionate about it and decided to pursue the credentials so that people knew that I wasn't just saying, hey, this would work great, but I actually had studied and learned a lot about these different topics.
Mm-hmm. Great. So today we thought we'd talk about seasonal allergies since we're knee deep in spring and headed into summer.
Yes, and in fact my daughter has a little bit of a runny nose, just kind of as a reaction to everything that's in bloom. So this is perfect timing to talk about seasonal allergies.
All right. So what are seasonal allergies?
Seasonal allergies are typically signified by a runny nose, red eyes, cough. Sometimes it can be as bad as a sore throat. Just your body is reacting to all of the pollen in the air. And some people are allergic to grasses, some people are allergic to ragweed, some people are allergic to corn or different things. I mean, there's a lot of things people react to. And so it's our body reacting to those allergens which are causing inflammation and a reaction to them. So it's a matter of calming that down and then dealing with the root cause, which goes back to our gut health.
Okay, so why don't you explain the root cause a little bit?
Yes, so if our gut is inflamed, which I'm talking about our intestines, we tend to react to allergens much more quickly than someone who doesn't have an inflamed gut. So a lot of times you hear this referred to as leaky gut. Then some people get it so severely that it goes into irritable bowel syndrome. So you want to deal with the inflammation before it becomes something. And oftentimes having allergies is one of the first symptoms people realize. Mm-hmm. And one of my favorite things for that is to start out with some digestive enzymes. So I brought my favorite digestive enzymes, which are by Solgar Comfort Zone, something we carry in the store. You take 1 digestive enzyme with every meal, and it helps your body to actually break down the food that you're eating. And the more you break down and digest the food itself, the less work it puts on your intestines because you're having smaller particles of food and it's broken down into the parts that the intestine knows to process. If you're not breaking it down in your stomach, it's putting a lot more work on the intestines to try and get to those vitamins and nutrients and minerals to get from our food, and you're probably not getting as much from your food as you really should be.
Okay.
Now, the intestines are also having to do work. So my other favorite supplement is called L-glutamine, which you are personally familiar with.
I sure am.
It's an amino acid, and I jokingly call it intestinal food, kind of like fish food, because our intestines really need this amino acid, and we don't tend to get enough of it in our diets or other sources. So it's as simple as taking 3 capsules 3 times a day, which sounds like a lot, but it definitely helps. People that have severe allergies have noticed huge improvements from taking it. People that have seasonal allergies notice it much more quickly because their allergies are not as severe as someone who, say, can't have dairy or can't have corn or can't have wheat or gluten or things like that. So seasonal allergies are often that first step down the bad road to more severe things. So if you can take care of those allergies before they become worse, you're going to be a lot better off.
Is there any other natural ways to combat allergies?
Yes, and this is my favorite. So you know I have my own line of practitioner grade essential oils and lavender, just straight lavender, neat, which means that you haven't diluted it. You can apply it to your sinuses. So the lower sinuses, the upper sinuses, behind your ear, the back of your neck. And it really helps to draw those allergens out of the sinuses because the first way we primarily get them is in through the sinuses and get that first reaction. So if you can start to pull them out using the lavender essential oil, and it doesn't take but a drop, maybe 2 at most. In fact, my mom actually had to deal with this, and the first time she applied it, overnight she developed a bump above her eye, and she's like, what in the world? The next morning, it all just released. The lavender oil had actually drawn all the toxins together, and then she just started blowing them out of her system.
Whoa.
And so she was going through tissue after tissue after tissue, and she spent the morning doing that, but her allergies were gone after that. And so they didn't come back for 2 or 3 years, and she didn't have to do anything else. And it was like just a couple treatments of lavender oil. Now, that doesn't work for everybody, but in her case, she got a very quick reaction to getting that out of her system.
Wow.
My other favorite is Highland's Seasonal Allergy Relief. This is a homeopathic blend, and so it helps to cause the body to calm down the histamine reaction. So the body's producing these histamines to deal with the inflammation response to these different allergens. And so the homeopathic blend is safe to take if you're on any type of prescription. That's why I like homeopathics, and an area that I've actually started studying more, because as a naturopath you get trained a lot in diet and supplements and nutrition, and homeopathics I'm realizing are a very important part that we don't get as much training in. So I've really been enjoying learning a lot of things about them, and especially starting with the blends, because it's easy. If you aren't familiar with homeopathics, it's harder for you to comprehend and wrap your mind around something, because it gets a little complex compared to walking in and buying vitamin C or vitamin D. So if I hand you a blend and say, somebody else has already put all these ingredients together and this is going to help your allergies, it's a lot less complex for you to understand.
Makes sense.
And we actually have a lady who comes in regularly, and she was taking one of the brand name allergy medicines, and she would have to take loading doses for a week leading up to the start of allergy season. And she has been able to completely come off of that, take this as needed, not have to take loading doses or constantly be on it, and have her allergies under complete control. You know, with allergies, it's kind of keeping it simple. Deal with the symptoms, deal with the root cause. A probiotic is another good thing, because of course that boosts your immune system, and this is all an immune response to something that the body is seeing as foreign.
Okay. So I had a question. I feel like there's an increase in seasonal allergies, because I remember as a child, nobody in my graduating class or in elementary school, kids, nobody had seasonal allergies. And I just feel like kids have them just as much as adults. So what's going on there? Do you have an answer?
Yes. It's the increased use of glyphosates and pesticides, as well as the genetically modified organisms being added to our food. There's a lot of different things that our grandparents really didn't know. Crohn's disease was not nearly as known. In fact, celiac disease was not discovered until the late 70s, early 80s, and it's actually tied to the combination of GMOs of the wheat with the glyphosates applied to it. And so they're able to just tie those two together and say, look, this is the root cause. We are poisoning ourselves with our food. The European Union has banned GMOs. So there's a lot of countries that are realizing the damage, and unfortunately, America is often driven by money. And there's a lot of money to be made in owning a patent to a seed. You no longer own the seeds. You have to buy them from a giant corporation, and there's a lot of dangers in the health of our seed population that way, but there's a lot of dangers to our health too.
Interesting. Good to know.
With the natural, it takes time, because the body has been in distress. So, don't apply the lavender. And my mom was, an exceptional case. She started detoxifying right away. Don't expect that you're going to apply lavender one time and be, quote, cured. Natural takes time to restore the body. And if you've had seasonal allergies for 8 or 10 years, it may take a couple of years to get your body back to a good level. And of course, changing the diet, getting those or genetically modified organisms and the glyphosate and all these pesticides going organic in our diet is really important, because then you start eliminating the things that are causing the inflammation in the gut, as well as dealing with the inflammation that's already there.
Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
That's great information.
Enjoyed being here today.
Yeah. All of our information will be linked in the description box below, so you can follow them at their website, their YouTube channel, Facebook. Anything else you're on?
I think you covered it all.
Right. So thank you for joining us, and look forward to the next Natural Health Series video. Bye.
Bye.